Hello everyone, my name is Yasir Jabari. I'm an HR consultant. Today I will speak about the different types of interviews. Today's video is suitable to everyone as we will discuss how interviews goes on real life. There are four types of interviews. The first one is called structured interviews. And you can tell that you are in this type of interviews by noticing the interviewer having a piece of paper in front of him and he's asking a preset ready-made questions. And while he's asking the question and you are giving the answer, you will notice that he is filling in this piece of paper your answers. These type of companies is kind of outdated and it does have rigid system, and usually its HR system is also kind of rigid, and you need to expect an email reference check if you pass the interview. Now these type of companies are usually the big famous type of companies. It could be a governmental organization depending where you live in. It could be one of the very big oil and gas companies. Any type of industry that is kind of stable usually have this type of HR systems. The second type of interviews is called the semi-structured interview. And you can tell that you are in this type of interviews by noticing the interviewer having a combination of ready-made type of questions, and after he finished filling all of it, he will put this paper on the side and he will be asking a different type of questions, and usually it is called situational questions or behavioral type of questions. Like for example, tell us about a time you were in a stressful situation and how you resolve it. Tell us about a time you were able to manage a project, and so on. This type of companies has a modern HR system, and you need to expect a proper reference check if you pass the interview. And this is type of companies you have to work in if you are able, because they have a system in place. That means they have a proper compensation and system, and within some time you will increase and grow in this type of organization. The third type of interviews, it is called the unstructured interview. And this type of interview, you will notice that the interviewer has no piece of paper in front of him at all, and usually he will start the interview by asking this question, which is, tell me about yourself. And they are asking this type of questions because the interviewer didn't have time to go and read your CV in depth, and while you are answering this question, he will be having a look on the CV. You just need to pay attention to what the interviewer is doing to know which type of interview you are in. And being in unstructured interview is good and bad. The good side, you can lead the conversation to your strengths area because they didn't read the CV really well. From the other side, it's an indication that the company doesn't have a proper HR system, which means it doesn't have a proper compensation system. It doesn't mean the company is bad, but if you don't have a good relation with your manager, the probability to grow and promote in this company could be minimum. By the end of the interview, usually there is no reference check because they don't have a proper HR system in place. The final type of interview is called the stressful interview. And some industries use this type of interviews without mentioning a specific company name. Some of the airline industry use it, some of the educational schools use it, and they put the candidates intentionally in a stressful and intense environment. Like for example, they will start the interview at 8 and the process will end at 4. And it's intentional to see how the candidate will be able to handle stress and are they strong enough or not. Some of these candidates collapse in the interview, and of course that means they are not strong enough. And why this company are using this type of, let's say, interviews? Because in real life it's going to be harder than what they're going to feel in this interview process. And if they can't handle the interview process, that means they won't be able to handle the stress that they're going to see in real life once they join the company. To summarize today's videos, we spoke about the different type of interviews. You need to pay attention to the interviewer. Does he has a paper in his hand? What type of questions he's asking, to know what type of interviews you are in. And once you know which type of interview you are in, you can properly handle the interview in a more professional way, and you will arrange yourself in advance so that one day, so that you can get the offer and bypass all the reference check easily. I hope today's video was helpful. Share in the comment your experience, and if you require any more explanation in any part of today's video. You guys are amazing, and don't forget to share, like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.